Let's discuss the most primitive prosimians uh, and strepsirrhines in greater detail. And those would be lemurs and lorises, or lemuroids and lorisoids when we look at their more formal scientific classification. Lemuroids are the most primitive primates on the planet, and it's because of their features as well as they are the oldest ones we can find in the fossil record. That's probably why they're at the very base of the tree, as well as many of the features that we see on them today that we notice have been inherited from ancestral mammals, like Strepsirrhini. You can see the picture of this ring-tailed lemur. They have a longer snout, um, and they have a split upper lip and a wet nose. For each one of these major groups of primates that I want you to be familiar with, I'll give you a profile. And so here's the lemuroid profile. And this will also give you all of the important information that you need for primate ecology, things like diet, habitat, locomotion, and social structure. So lemurs only live in Madagascar, only. And they can range from 1 ounce to about 15 pounds. And they're mostly diurnal, meaning active during the day, but some of them are active during the night or nocturnal. Their locomotion is quadruped, meaning they have 4 points of locomotion, but they will also vertical cling and leap, where they will grab onto the trunk of a tree that is vertical, and then they'll push off with their very powerful legs and then turn their body to go grasp on something else. Their diet is mostly fruit and leaves, though they may eat some insects here and there. And their social structure is typically known as multi-male, multi-female. This is where they'll have one breeding season. Each lemur will have a mate and a brood, and there's not a lot of competition between males for access to females. We'll show you an example, some images of a ring-tailed lemur. I also put a number of videos in this module that you can view some of these animals in action. So ring-tailed lemur, of course, made very popular by the Madagascar animated movies. You can see, the lemur's appendages. You can see the opposable big toe. And in one image, you can see the skull. And from the side, you notice that the postorbital bar is there. You also notice the eye orbits are pointing forward, so you're definitely looking at a primate with a longer snout. You would probably guess you're looking at one of the more primitive primates, which in this case, ring-tailed lemur is. Lorisoids are also very primitive primates, right? Strepsirrhines that also have retained a number of ancestral characteristics. They're very similar to lemurs, but they have a wider geographic distribution and probably more varied diets and locomotor strategies. Lorises can be found throughout parts of Africa and Asia, and their body size is actually quite small, 2 ounces to 3.5 pounds. You notice some of the lemurs can get a little larger, about 15. They are all active at night and nocturnal. They are quadrupeds, typically almost exclusively living in the trees, not necessarily coming to the ground, and they also commit to other strategies like slow climbing. They typically eat fruits and insects, and they are also multi-male, multi-female. Here is an image of the common slow loris, and you can see both in the wild as well as their skulls. These lorises actually move a little slower in the environment, slow climbing, but you can see that they do have a kind of a bit of a snout. It's not very long like a ring-tailed lemur. You can see that they have convergent eye orbits. If you look at the skull at the top, you can see that they have a postorbital bar. They also have convergent eye orbits, so you're definitely looking at a primate. You can see that many of the other strepsirrhines, they may commit to things like vertical clinging leaping with powerful legs. Many of the common slow lorises and other pygmy loris, they aren't as active or have as powerful legs to generate that force for vertical clinging leaping.